Bear Chum, who's trained by David Ferraris, and is trying to give Brett Preble a quick double, Jace.
Yeah, he could do. I mean, if you have a look at the 5 furlong start here, they run down. This will be real fast and furious, and surprisingly, just the way it's been thrown up, the 12, Ruby Diamond, can absolutely fly early and could well try and cross and clear from there, because he's also posted out in stall number 12. I'll be fascinated to see what sort of price Circuit King is. Joe Moreira's on board. Tony Cruz is going quite well as far as the trainers are concerned. He's drawn in 2. He had been running over 1,200 metres on the all-weather, also here at Happy Valley, and then back at Sha Tin. So coming in, dropping down to the 5 furlongs, 1,000 metres, I think could actually prove ideal as far as he is concerned. There are a few in here, the likes of the 2 Premium Champion. We've gone up a grade, so Class 5 for the opener. We're up to Class 4 here. And I think that he's probably not as good around this ballpark as he has been at Sha Tin. So although he's slightly eased in grade, he's been competing up in Group or Class 3 company prior to his last few runs. And then Neil Callan, we'll see him on Junsey in here, who was only beaten, what was it, 4 1/4 back in 9th. So real blanket finish, as is often the case, and comes back down, having had 2 runs over 1,200 metres. So I thought possible the way the race was going to run, the 12 would be the pace. 6 has also got a bit of boot, Crown Avenue. And I know that that's John's selection as well, isn't it? He likes the 6 in here.
He does,
John
Luna
Lance.
Zephyr.
Yeah, and I suppose, again, with him, if you were to look at his last 4 runs, 3 of them were up in grade in Class 3 company. He's recently been downgraded, and this is his 2nd try at Happy Valley, back down in grade. His record here is not outstanding. He's had 3 spins around this ballpark, but I suppose John's going down the angle that he can improve, because he's only had 8 lifetime starts, 6 of them over in Hong Kong. So he's hoping that he's got a bit of an improving still left to do. I like the one though, Mike. Circuit King, Joe Moreira.
Okay, the magic man, the man that rode 8 winners.
He's got
in a race day.
You know, if you looked at the Hong Kong cards, a few races later on, he's posted out in stall number 12 on one.
Yeah.
And normally, they, in some of their summaries, they give it as a massive negative. Yet whenever his name appears next to one, they always say he can regularly overcome the barrier draw, so don't worry about it at all. And having spoke to Alan Munro, out of all the jockeys he's ridden against around the world, he said, who would you most hate to see come upside you in a finish? And he said Joe Moreira should have a £5 penalty. Right? He said on everything that he rides, he said he should have a £5 penalty. But I think his style of riding, Mike, is suited to the tracks around here. He's very, very quick to get them up into stride, gets them rolling and travelling. He knows about saving ground around here. And if you get to be as dominant as he is at the moment, you're winning on horses, and as soon as they go up out of their class where they struggle to win, he doesn't back up and ride them again. He switches on to another one. He's had 121 winners, compared to Zach Purton is the closest with 59, Neil Callan on 31.
Gosh.
And some of his stats, like at Sha Tin on the turf, he wins at a ridiculous percentage of horses. On the all-weather, he's got a great record, and obviously at Happy Valley, this also a very much a happy hunting ground as far as he is concerned. And the size team leading the Trainers' Championship, 62 winners. John Moore second on 49, Casper Founds 43, and Tony Cruz, who I mentioned, who actually runs Circuit King here. He's back in 5th place with 35 winners on the board for Tony Cruz. So the team are going particularly well.
I can't believe that Alan said that about João Moreira. He must be a bit very, 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 very special.
Yeah, it was quite. And he said it with a smile, but he meant it.
Yeah, but he meant it.
He certainly.
How is Alan, Jace? Is he in good form?
I think he's still over in one of the race courses Was it in?
Was he in Macau?
No, he wasn't in Macau. He was in Japan,
right?
But not at the main centre, at the second racing centre, if you like. The last time I heard, but he's doing incredibly well. He's shipped around all over the world, hasn't he?
He has. Have saddle, will travel. We got betting should be coming through in a moment or two, actually, for this race, ladies and gents. As
Singapore,
the runners.
maybe as well. I might have seen him racing in Singapore recently.
Actually, yeah, he had been spending some time there. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Because Darrell's disappeared again now, hasn't he?
Where's he gone now?
I think, has he gone back to Korea?
Korea? Has he?
I think so.
Again, he's another one.
Studioed at the races, if you do know.
Yes, indeed. There's John Blance's selection. John's got off to a great start. Luna Zephyr heading down to the start. And Circuit King is the odds-on favourite. 5-4 on. Luna Zephyr 4s. Bear Chum 13-2. Junzi at 12s. Kwai Chung Brothers 16-1. And it's 20-1, bar those 5.
I'll give Neil a bit of a squeak here on Junzi.
Yeah?
Neil's been on board the last few starts. He's not as if he's a class drop angle or anything like that. And he's drawn out in stall number 7. But you'd be thinking from a jock's point of view, if you're looking through the form, you imagine that the 12 is going to cross over from there with an apprentice on, taking £7 off. So it's going to get a bit tight down the back. Neil Callan, I think in an ideal world, he's in 7, Joe Moreira's in 2. You'd be looking to get on his tail, wouldn't you? Just getting a perfect draft round in behind him.
5 furlongs. Circuit King has hardened up a little bit now. 6-4 on. Son of High Chaparral, Jace.
Yeah,
it's all about getting tied up against, about distances for certain horses, etc.
Yeah, he's obviously seems to be as effective down at this trip. You've got to take into account Joe Moreira's mounts will get punted off the boards, won't they? And, they look at his, they think, oh, well, he can win from stall 12. Now all of a sudden he's got the ideal berth down in stall number 2 with Circuit King. As we mentioned, Neil Callan, he's on board. Junzi in here. He's ridden this the last 4 times at least at a variety of tracks and on the all-weather, here at Happy Valley, back at Sha Tin, and down to the 1,000 metres. Although he's drawn in 7, he could definitely win, I think, with Neil on board. And you could play him you could mix him up with Circuit King to either cause the upset or finish just on his tail with the Quinella.
OK. I wouldn't expect a wide draw be particularly advantageous here.
And the 5...
Unless you're João Moreira.
Over 5 furlongs, obviously it's not ideal. You don't want to be going down the turn for home wide, but the 6 furlong shoot where you run along the side of that building you can see up on the left there, a high draw over the 6 is much more detrimental to your chance rather than the 5, even though, look, you're caught 3 deep. Because they're so closely handicapped, if we were 0 to 40s before for your Class 5, Class 4 contest here, rating band 40 to 60. It's a very, very tight rating band.
Here's John Blance with the call.
Ready for the 4 Bear Chum as we speak. Nearly ready though. 1,000 metres, minimum trip. Ready, flag up. And away they go. Rugby Diamond got away well towards the far side. Circuit King under Moreira also away well. Luna Zephyr shows good gate speed too, followed then by Bear Chum and Megatron. Then Kwai Chung Brothers just being ridden along to try and hold a position, followed then by Junzi. Then up the inside rail is Rocket Let Win. Smart Salute was just a little bit tapped for room. Then Ray of Gold, not surprisingly, Premium Champion is struggling to go the early dash, and Crown Avenue is also at the rear of the field. But it's Luna Zephyr that leads here to Rugby Diamond on the outside. They sit 1 and 2, followed then by Circuit King and Bear Chum, then Kwai Chung Brothers and Megatron. Junzi is after that, just trying to get a little bit closer. Rocket Let Win not having much luck in the run, and then Ray of Gold. They've swung for home, 300 to go, and it's Luna Zephyr who still leads, but they're queuing up Rugby Diamond and Circuit King, looking to produce challenges. Then Bear Chum and Kwai Chung Brothers as well. Ray of Gold tries to stay on 2, but it's Circuit King in the hands of Moreira, who's skipping away in the latter stages to Bear Chum and Kwai Chung Brothers up towards the line. Circuit King wins like a shorty should to Bear Chum in second, followed by Kwai Chung Brothers and Luna Zephyr. Then Ray of Gold and Megatron. Junzi got going, but it was all too late. They were then followed by Smart Salute and Premium Champion, who beat a couple home. They were Rugby Diamond and Crown Avenue.
Favourite lands the odds then. Circuit King beating Bear Chum into second, and third home was the fast finishing Kwai Chung Brothers there in the blue and red chevrons.
It looks a fairly comfortable success, and I know that mentioned there, you know, one like a shorty should, but he had the ideal scenario, didn't he? He was drawn in 2. You've had 2 horses, 1 in 6, 1 in 12, who've absolutely flown the boxes. Lunar Zephyr, horse number 6, was drawn just inside him. You had the young apprentice on board, Ruby Diamond, from 12. They've gone a million. He's not left the paint. Just watch here. He can corner that little bit better. You see the gap that's opened up there. Now, from a jockey's point of view, you've got to say Rugby Diamond would be keeping that door closed. But Moreira just has his horse that well balanced, Mike, not left the paint until they come into the straight. It fanned out for him. He opens up, he wins. Now, give him a different draw and a tighter run, say 2 or 3 deep, all of a sudden that drags him right back down there. But again, it's Moreira. Yes, he was punted off the boards, but he's had an absolute dream trip round.